Previously on CTV News at noon, we tested the Wii Fit from Nintendo. That was just last week. This week in our tech segment, we're going to dive right into a couple of headlines from the tech world that are making news. As always, our columnist Elias Makos is here with us. I actually stole your joke.
I know you did.
Previously on CTV News. First off, we're going to talk about changes coming to the wireless spectrum, which sounds kind of complicated, but basically what it means is what?
Good news for consumers. Basically, we're having an auction now of wireless spectrum, which is going to allow new players to come into the Canadian market and offer cell phone services in 2009. So the auction has been a huge success. They're already up to $2 billion when they expected only like $1 billion. So it's doing really well. Quebecor, Shaw Communications out west. These are big players that are now making a big effort to get into the Canadian cell phone market.
These are the big ones right now. TELUS, Rogers, Bell.
That's right. Those are the big three.
These are the new ones, possibly.
Exactly. And Quebecor and Shaw so far during this auction have really shown their intentions and made it very clear that they want to get into the market.
And it's the federal government that's doing this, right? They basically control the wireless spectrum, the air.
That's right. They control the airways. They auction it off. And they're going to make, right now, at least $2 billion.
Because a lot of critics would say it's a bit of a cabal right now, a bit of a cartel, so to speak.
We have the worst cell phone networks in all of the Western world, and some would argue, and I would too, that it's even worse than third world countries. We've sort of been... because our landlines are so strong, our cell phone networks have sort of suffered, and now we're finally getting into gear, and we're going to see some
expensive too. Still
very expensive in this country. It's super expensive, more expensive than anywhere else in the Western world, and that's going to change hopefully with this new competition.
And it can sometimes stop new technology from coming into play as well.
That's right. And that's something we can.
We're going to get to that a little bit later. We're going to hold on to this. Now, tell me about, switch gears with me to Windows Vista. Not Windows. Windows 7. I'm screwing myself up here. Microsoft Vista and Windows 7.
Windows 7, this is the successor to Windows Vista. As we all know, Windows Vista has not done very well.
A lot of problems.
A lot of problems, hasn't done well in the marketplace. People aren't choosing to buy it, okay? If they're getting it, it's because it just came with their computer. And Microsoft now is already focusing on their next effort, which they want to have out in 2009, 2010, but Vista was 4 years late, so let's not hold our breaths here. It looks like, Windows 7, if it ever comes out, will also be late. And you know what? I really think it's time for Microsoft to put up or shut up, and what I would do if I were them is to just blow it all up and start from scratch, because what they're doing right now isn't working. The anecdotal evidence is really strong. When consumers actually have a choice, and the numbers we've seen so far from the beginning of the year is that 2/3 of computers over $1,000, so these are people with money who are educated buying computers, in the States bought a Mac in the first quarter. And, this morning I went to the computer store where I work at Concordia, and I just asked around, what's the percentages now? People, what are students buying? 70 to 80% of the computers that students are buying right now are Macs. And this is a big wake-up call for Microsoft, and they really need to get in gear, change what they're doing. Because if you keep repeating what you've been doing when it's not working, it's a sign of a big problem.
Bad news for Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Okay, Facebook. Now, there's a bit of a controversy going out. Facebook, very popular with a lot of people. Basically, like your own private website. You can chat with your friends. You can go on about yourself ad nauseum as much as you want.
That's right.
But there's a problem with privacy issues now in Canada.
And in fact, a group now has gone to the Canadian Privacy Commissioner and asked them to look into Facebook. They now have a year to look into this. But the real issue here is this, is that when you join Facebook, and I think we've talked about this before, when you join Facebook, all of the defaults are set to share all of my info with everybody. Okay? So you really got to guard yourself against that. And if you're interested in this, what you've got to do is just be smart about it. If you're going to be on Facebook, as 40% of all Canadians that are on the internet are on Facebook, staggering number.
That's huge.
It's huge. So if you're going to be on Facebook, really important to just know what it's all about and to know your privacy settings. All these settings can be turned off. You can make yourself as closed as you want to. But if you just sign up and you don't change your privacy settings, anybody can see it.
Okay, really quickly, we got about 20 seconds. The iPhone now. Less than a week away, you're telling me.
Well, they're going to announce something on June 9th. The Worldwide Developers Conference for Apple is on June 9th. Something will be announced. Everything we know about the iPhone is pure speculation, but from what we've heard from various telecom providers in the whole world, it's coming out. That's for sure. It'll happen in June, and hopefully that'll come to Canada as well.
You're hoping June 9th?
June 9th, yeah.
Or at least in June.
Yeah.
All right, Elias Makos, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back.